Hey everyone, how are you? In this video, we are going to solve the Leetcode problem of the day, and the problem is diagonal traverse. The problem category is of medium level, but I would say it is an easy problem, but you have to give some time to the problem. It is not something like you will just read the problem and you can come up with a solution. It is going to take some time. We have to go through the problem to understand the logic at each point. In the problem, the given input is a m by n matrix, basically a two-dimensional array, where m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns. Now let me try to explain you the problem with an example. Let us say this is the two-dimensional matrix given to us, or the 2D array given to us as an input. We have 3 number of rows and we have 5 number of columns, right? The output we need to give is we need to traverse through the diagonals, and that is what we need to give the output. We need to give the output as a traversal we are doing through the diagonals. And the direction would be we have to first go through the first diagonal in the upward direction, then we have to go through the second diagonal in the downward direction, then we have to go through the third diagonal in the upward direction, then fourth diagonal in the downward direction, then fifth diagonal in the upward, then sixth diagonal in the downward, then seventh diagonal in the upwards. So that is going to be our pattern, and it will look something like this. We are going to cover this element, then we are going to cover these elements, then 7 5 3, then 10 6 8, then 9 12 11, then 13 14, then 15. So let me actually write the output, and then I can try to explain you the logic behind the solution, and we are going to go one by one to understand everything one at a time. So first of all, let's go through the upward diagonal. So this is going to be 1. Then we have to go through the next diagonal but in the downward direction. So this is going to be comma 2 comma 4. Then we are going to go through the next diagonal in the upward direction. So this will be 7 comma 5 comma 3. Then go through the next diagonal but in the downward direction. So this is going to be 10 comma 6 comma 8. Then go through the next diagonal in the upward direction. So it will be 9 comma 12 comma 11. Then we have to go through the next diagonal in the downward direction. So it is going to be 13 comma 14. Then next diagonal in the upward direction, so comma 15. This is the output we need to give. Basically we need to return an array in which we have to write what is our traversal. So it will be 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 7 comma 5 comma 3 comma 10 comma 6 comma 8 comma 9 12 11 13 14 15. So that is going to be our output, basically an array of our traversal. First of all, you will have to identify that how many different diagonals you have to traverse through, and I will tell you a simple formula for this, and I will tell you how can you find that formula. The number of diagonals you have to traverse through is m plus n minus 1, and it is very simple to find, guys. See, the thing is, you will have to understand that this is the diagonal, then we have another diagonal, then another diagonal, another diagonal, another diagonal, another diagonal, another diagonal. As of now, forget about we have to traverse up or down. Just focus on how to identify that what are the different diagonals we have. So what you actually have to do is you have to start through these elements, all the row elements, the first element of your row, and all the column elements, the last element of each of your column. Basically this is the diagonal starting through this point. This is another diagonal starting through this point, another diagonal starting through this point, another diagonal starting through this point, then another diagonal starting through this point, another diagonal starting through this, another diagonal starting through this. So this is your way, right, to find out how many diagonal elements or how many diagonals you have to traverse through. So you have to traverse through 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 number of diagonals. As of now, you have 3 number of rows, 5 number of columns. M is equal to 3, that's the number of rows. N is equal to 5, that's the number of columns. So you can say m plus n is equal to 8 minus 1, that's the formula here, is equal to 7. We have to traverse through 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 diagonals. And a simple way to understand is this is 1, then from here 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So you are basically going through rows, then you are basically going through the other left columns, right? So you are traversing through all the rows, right? That's the number of rows. Then you are traversing through n minus 1 number of columns, because you will not traverse through this again. This is already covered, right? So n minus 1 number of columns. We have n number of columns, but we have to traverse through these particular points to create our diagonals. So n minus 1 number of columns. So this is the number of diagonals you have. Now when we are traversing through our data, whatever is our direction, when we are traversing through, we are basically at a point, we are accessing a particular data. Let us say we are accessing, let us say, this particular data which is a part of this diagonal. So how are you going to access this particular data? It is simple. It is the row number 1, column number 2, right? So we have to identify what are the row and what are the columns we are currently traversing through. Basically when I am traversing through any diagonal, I have to identify that in this particular diagonal, what are going to be my number of rows, number of columns, and how are we going to traverse through it. And before we do this, we have to identify that are we going up or are we going down. That's our traversal direction, right? Are we traversing up? Are we traversing up? Are we traversing up or down or down or down, right? It is very simple, guys. we have to go through m plus n minus 1 number of diagonals, right? So this will be equal to 7. So we are just going to run a loop 7 times. So the loop is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times, right? These are the indexes of our loop, starting from 0 going till 6. That is going to run total 7 times for each diagonal. So let me actually write those diagonal indexes. It is 0, then 1, then 2. So this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically 0 means this is our starting point, this is our starting point, this is our starting point, and this is our starting point, this is our starting point, this is our starting point, and this is our starting point. When the diagonal indexes are even 0, 2, 4, 6, you have to go up. When it is odd, then you have to go down. Let me show you. If it is 0, up. If it is odd, which is 1, then down. If it is even, then up. If it is odd, then down. If it is even, up, right? And then if it is odd, down, even, up. You can see that we have written the correct order, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So a simple formula will be, if the diagonal is even, then go up. If the diagonal is odd, then go down. Now once you identify, you have to go up, you have to go down. You have to identify that what is the number of rows and number of columns and what are the different indexes we have to traverse through, right? Now I will tell you a simple thing to understand. First of all, let us try to understand when D is even, when we are traversing through even index diagonal, basically 0, 2, 4, 6, all these diagonals. Simple thing is, when you are traversing through these diagonals, then you are traversing up. That's one thing. Let me actually make the direction here. You are traversing up, right? But what more you have to identify is, when you are traversing up, then what is your target? Till which point are you traversing? From where are you starting? And till which point are you going? That's the thing which you need to understand. Let me try to explain you with two different diagonals. The diagonal index 2, the diagonal index 4. So when the diagonal index is 2, you are actually traversing through 7, then 5, then 3. 7, 5, 3, right? Now let us try to understand this. So you will notice this element is row number 2, column number 0. This element is row number 1, column number 1. This element is row number 0, column number 2. When you are traveling in the upward direction, your rows are decreasing, your columns are increasing, right? Let us see the same example with one more upward direction traversal. For 9, then 12, then 11. This particular upward direction traversal. Now the thing is, 9 is row number 2 and column number 2, right? 12 is row number 1, column number 3, and 11 is row number 0, column number 4. Let's go through one more, which is this one, this particular traversal. So here we have just one data which we are traversing through, which is 15. When we are going in the upward direction, we are just traversing through one data, which is 15, right? It is row number 2, column number 4, right? Now let us try to identify a simple pattern here. When the D is even, when we are having even index diagonal, when we are going in the upward direction, the rows indexes are decreasing. 2, 1, 0, then 2, 1, 0, then we have just one element, so 2. The column indexes are increasing, 0, 1, 2, or it is 2, 3, 4, or it is 4. So the first observation is rows are going to increase, columns are going to decrease. Now we have to identify what is our starting point for row and column, what should be our starting point, and up to which point should we go, what should be our ending point. See, the simple thing is, for the ending point, let us try to find out when are we going to stop. The simple thing to understand here is, the rows are decreasing, right? You have to stop when the row is 0. That should be your last iteration, that should be your last element, because the rows are decreasing. 2, 1, 0, then it will be minus 1, right? Minus 1 is not valid. So till the point the rows are positive, you are good to go for the rows. And for the columns, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will increase, right? But we have a limited number of columns, right? How many columns do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 number of columns, right? Whatever is the number of columns you have, when you are traversing through the columns, you have to make sure that this column value is never more than the number of columns you already have. N is the number of columns, so you will make sure that this C will be less than N. The moment this C is equal to N, it means you are trying to traverse through a column which doesn't even exist, right? So these are the two conditions we have when we need to stop. Till the R is more than equal to 0 and till the C is less than N, we can continue. But what should be our starting point? Our starting point should definitely depend upon the diagonal as well, right? For different diagonals, the starting points are different. For the diagonal number 2, the starting point is row 2, column 0. For the diagonal 4, it is row 2, column 2. For the diagonal number 6, it is row number 2, column number 4. For the diagonal number 0, it is row number 0. So basically, what you will notice here is, our starting point for the row will never be more than the number of rows we have, right? So we can say that our starting point of our row will always be less than equal to m, where m is the number of rows, right? It can be less than m, so it can be m minus 1. That is its highest point. It can be at max m minus 1. We have the value of m as 3 here. we have three number of rows, right? 1, 2 and 3. So the value of m is equal to 3. 1, 2 and 3, right? So the starting point of our r will always be less than m. So it can be till m minus 1. Now what you need to notice here is when the diagonal is 0, the starting point of our row is 0. When the diagonal is 2, the starting point of our row is 2. When the diagonal is 4, the starting point of our row is 2. When it is 6, it is 2. So the pattern which we understand here is our starting point of our row will be equal to diagonal if this diagonal is less than or equal to m minus 1. But if the diagonal index is more than this particular value, our row is m minus 1. So the simple formula which we can understand from here is our starting point of our row will be equal to the minimum value of d or m minus 1. This d is the diagonal index. This m minus 1 is the maximum allowed value of a row, right? Diagonal 0, row 0, diagonal 1, row 1, diagonal 2, row 2. The diagonals are matching till we reverse our diagonal direction, right? What about the columns? We know that the row can be equal to the minimum value of d comma m minus 1. What about the columns? What should be the starting point of the column? If the starting point of our column is 0, then it is 2, then it is 4, right? When r is 0, diagonal is 0, column starting point is 0. When it is 2 and 2, column starting point is 0. When the diagonal is 4, the row is 2, the column is 2. When the diagonal is 6, the row is 2, the column is 4. So the simple pattern which we can draw here is the column starting point is basically the difference between row and diagonal index. 0 minus 0 is 0, right? 2 minus 2 is 0. We have 4 minus 2 which is 2. We have 6 minus 2 which is 4. So I can say the column starting point will be equal to the diagonal, because the diagonal index is going to be more, diagonal minus r. This is our starting point. This is our ending point when we are traversing in the upward direction. So now we have the values of r and c. We can simply access our value at those r and c, basically that particular row and in that particular column. And the moment we access the value, we are going to push it into our result. Our result can actually be an array or a list, right? So this is about the upward direction. For the downward direction, it is going to be just the opposite. Let me show you one example. Let us traverse through this downward direction. When you traverse through this downward direction, it is basically the diagonal index 3, because this is the diagonal, right? So the diagonal index 3. A simple thing to understand here is when the diagonal is not even, but when it is odd, let us say it is 3, right? So we have the diagonal index as 3. Now let me just do one thing. Let me delete this element. When we are traversing in the downward side, we will go through 10, then 6, then 8, right? So our outputs are going to be 10, 6, 8. 10 is basically the row number 0, column number 3. So we have row number 0, column number 3. 6 is basically row 1, column number 2. So we have 6 as row number 1, column number 2. And we have this 8 as row 2, column 1. Row number 2, column number 1. Here you will notice that the rows are increasing, the columns are decreasing, right? Earlier the rows were decreasing, the columns were increasing, right? So it is just the opposite. The conditions are again just going to be the exact opposite. The ending condition of your loop is just going to be the opposite of what we found for upward direction. For downward direction, it is going to be, for this condition, the opposite is when c should be more than equal to 0 and r should be less than n, or it should actually be m, because the number of rows, right? So the whole logic is just going to be reversed when we are traversing in the downward direction. Let me go through the code. Let me try to explain you the code and you will understand everything. So first of all, we are going to calculate the number of rows and number of columns. M is the number of rows, length of matrix, and n is the number of columns, length of matrix of 0. Then we have a variable result where we are going to store our data. That's basically an array. Now we are running a loop for all our diagonals for d in the range of m plus n minus 1. And if the diagonal index is even, we have to go in the upward direction. If the diagonal index is odd, we have to go through the downward direction. When we are going in the up direction, what we can do is we can say our rows starting point will be the minimum value of the diagonal index, or should be m minus 1. Starting point of our column will be the diagonal minus the starting row point. Now till which point should we run our loop? While the value of r is more than equal to 0 and while the value of c is less than n, we are going to say result will be result dot append. We are going to access the r comma c point of our matrix. Then row will decrease, column will increase. And just the opposite we have to do in the other condition when we are traversing in the downward side. We have to say column now will be the minimum of d and n minus 1. Earlier it was row which was minimum of d and m minus 1. M is the number of rows, n is the number of columns. The starting point of our row will be d minus c. Earlier it was the starting point of our column was d minus r. Now we are just having the opposite condition here, just as we had here. While the c will be more than equal to 0 and r will be less than m, we are going to append the current data in our result, and then we are going to say r plus equal to 1, c minus equal to. When you are done with this particular loop, you should have all your traversal data in the result variable, which is basically your list or the array. Now you can submit this and this is going to pass all the test cases. So yes, you can see the test cases are fine. The runtime is good. The memory used is good as well. We are not using a lot of memory. We are actually not using any extra memory. It is just the memory for the result. So guys, I think that's it for this video. I have tried to explain you each and every point of this particular problem. And if this video helps you to understand the problem and the solution approach, then make sure that you hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed to my channel as of now, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. I want to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this one, guys.